The Awakening. Unveiling the divine deception. I was raised in a world where fear was the measure of one's devotion. Every Sunday, the pulpit thundered warnings of a vengeful God and a promised rapture that would rescue the faithful from an impending apocalypse. I spent countless nights trembling under the weight of these prophecies, praying desperately for salvation, a salvation that always seemed to come just out of reach. Then came the night that shattered everything. In the dim light of my bathroom, a moment of quiet desperation led me to my reflection. I knelt and cried out, my prayers pouring forth like a torrent of questions. Will I be saved? Will I be transformed? What will I become? And as I gazed into my own eyes, I felt a presence behind me, a voice so powerful and certain it cut through the silence like lightning. You're not getting raptured. There is no rapture. That single piercing declaration struck me to the core. My heart pounded in disbelief as a cascade of questions overwhelmed me. How could the promise of a divine rescue be nothing more than a fabrication? Over the following weeks, in fervent study sessions with my neighbors and fellow truth-seekers, a startling realization began to take shape. The rapture was not a celestial promise, but a carefully constructed myth, one designed to control us. Driven by a need to understand, I embarked on a quest for truth. I revisited every teaching I had ever known, scouring ancient texts and forgotten scriptures. Slowly, I began to see a pattern. Every doctrine that painted God as an all-powerful external being was countered by a deeper, more compelling revelation, the truth that we are all divine. Every soul carries the spark of God's light within it. The divinity we sought in an external figure was, in fact, buried deep inside each of us. In the midst of this profound awakening, my heart ached for those souls who walked this earth before us, souls trapped in the confines of deception, denied the opportunity to glimpse their true divine potential. It is a deep injustice that those who came before were left in spiritual darkness, their brilliance suppressed by doctrines designed to instill fear and control. Their unfulfilled light reminds us that unless we break the cycle, the spiritual deprivation continues. And now I see clearly that we are already in heaven. Our souls, free and eternal, travel between realms at will. We choose to return to earth not out of a need for rescue, but to infuse this world with the boundless abundance and love that defines our true nature. This is the kingdom Jesus described in the Bible, a realm of luxury, joy, and unconditional love. Yet for too long the message we embraced was not his true teaching at all. For the teachings that many cling to today come not from the gentle, transformative words of Jesus, but from the reinterpretations of Paul. Unlike the compassionate guide who awakened us to the divine spark within, Paul's doctrine wove a narrative of separation, a belief in an external deity demanding obedience and fear. Jesus never claimed to be God incarnate. He was a beacon of light, inviting us to recognize our own divinity. Instead, institutions of power manipulated his message, using him as a pawn to bear the fall for their own agendas and to reinforce systems of control. In a series of miraculous events, I experienced personal healing from long-held ailments and a transformation that defied logic. My once fragile spirit became resilient, filled with a serenity and joy that I had never known. It was as if a veil had been lifted from my eyes. The fear instilled by the church and echoed by the powers that be was nothing but a tool, one meant to keep us in a state of perpetual obedience and despair. Imagine a world where the greatest miracle is not an otherworldly rescue but the everyday awakening of our own inner power. A world where every act of kindness, every moment of forgiveness, every step towards self-realization ignites a collective revolution of consciousness. We are already part of the heavenly kingdom, empowered to create a life of abundance and love, and to reshape Earth into a reflection of that eternal paradise. Now I stand at the crossroads of revelation and revolution, compelled to share this truth with the world. The lies that once chained us to fear are crumbling. I see thousands of souls beginning to stir with newfound awareness, each discovering that they are not mere subjects of an external savior, but active bearers of a divine legacy. We have been deceived into waiting for a promise that was never meant to come. Instead, the salvation we crave is already unfolding in the beauty of our shared humanity and divine nature. This is not just my story, it is the story of every person who has ever felt alone, broken, or abandoned by the promises of the past. It is a call to awaken, to honor those who came before us, and to reclaim the power that has always been ours. The time for waiting is over. The true rapture is not a distant event. It is the moment when each of us recognizes that we are heaven made manifest, and through our collective light we can heal the world and ourselves.